everyone, and welcome back to Real Talk English. I am so happy to see you all again for another lesson.
Hi everyone, I'm James, and today we are going to tackle a common problem that every language learner faces, the awkward silence.
Have you ever been in a conversation and suddenly you have nothing else to say? It can feel a little uncomfortable, right?
Exactly. In our last episode, we talked about being busy, but today we want to help you keep the conversation flowing when you actually have the time to chat.
The goal for today's podcast is to teach you 5 natural phrases that help you ask better questions and keep the talk going.
Whether you are meeting a colleague for coffee or talking to a new friend, these tools will give you the confidence to speak without stopping.
We will cover how to transition between topics and how to keep your partner interested in what you're saying.
And don't worry if you feel nervous. Even native speakers use these techniques to make sure their conversations don't end too early.
So, get ready to expand your English skills. James, are you ready to dive into our first strategy for today?
I am absolutely ready, Anna. Let's show our students how to make every conversation a great one.
Our first strategy is the most important. It is using open-ended questions. James, can you explain what that means to our learners?
Sure, Anna. An open-ended question is one that cannot be answered with just a simple yes or no.
Exactly. If you ask, "Do you like your job?" the person can just say yes, and the conversation might stop.
But if you ask, "How did you get started in your career?" they must explain a story to you.
That is a beautiful example. It invites them to talk for a long time and share their experiences.
So our first phrase for the day is, what has been the best part of your week so far?
I love that question. It's positive, it's personal, and it always leads to interesting answers.
Let's practice it. Everyone at home, repeat after me. What has been the best part of your week so far?
Try to say it with genuine interest in your voice. Imagine you are speaking to a new friend.
That sounds perfect. Now let's move to our second strategy. This one is all about following up.
Following up is when you ask more questions based on what the other person just told you.
Our second phrase is, could you tell me more about that? It's so simple but so powerful.
It shows the other person that you are truly listening to them and that you care about their topic.
Yes, when I'm talking to you, Anna, and I want to know more detail, I always use this phrase.
Let's give the audience a quick example. James, tell me something about your technical engineering work.
Well, recently I've been monitoring dissolved gas analysis in power transformers to prevent failures.
That sounds fascinating. Could you tell me more about that? Why is the gas important?
See how that works? Anna used my topic to keep the conversation moving forward naturally.
Exactly. You don't need to change the topic. You just need to ask about the details.
Practice this phrase with me now. Could you tell me more about that? Excellent.
You're doing great. Now let's move to our fourth strategy. This one is called the bridge.
A bridge is when you connect their answer to something else you know. The phrase is, that reminds me of...
For example, if they talk about their favorite food, you can say, "That reminds me of a restaurant I visited last year."
It's a perfect way to change topics without making it feel awkward or sudden.
It keeps the flow very smooth and connected. Let's practice that bridge phrase together.
Repeat after me. That reminds me of something I saw recently. That's a great phrase to master.
Now, let's move to our fifth strategy. This one is to ask about feelings, not just facts.
Facts are boring, but feelings are interesting. Ask, how did that make you feel?
Whether they're talking about a success or a challenge, this question always creates a deep connection.
People love to talk about themselves and their emotions. It's a great way to build trust.
Let's practice this soft question. Repeat after James. How did that make you feel?
How did that make you feel? You are doing such an incredible job today.
We have one more strategy before we do our final role play together.
Our fifth phrase is, what do you think about this? It asks for their opinion.
Asking for someone's opinion is a compliment. It shows that you value their thoughts and their intelligence.
And it always leads to new topics to talk about. It is the ultimate conversation keeper.
Let's review our 5 phrases again. What has been the best part of your week?
Could you tell me more about that? And that reminds me of something I saw recently.
How did that make you feel? And finally, what do you think about this?
These 5 phrases will ensure you never run out of things to say again.
Now that we have the 5 phrases, let's see how they sound in a long, uninterrupted conversation.
I think that is a great idea. I will start by asking Anna how her week has been.
Perfect. Everyone, listen closely to how we use the phrases to build the talk.
Anna, I have not seen you since the holiday. What has been the best part of your week so far?
Oh, James, it has been a very productive week. I finally finished organizing my entire home library.
That sounds like a huge job. Could you tell me more about that? How many books are we talking about?
You wouldn't believe it, but I counted over 200 books. It was exhausting, but very satisfying.
How did that make you feel when you finally finished the last shelf?
Honestly, I felt a huge sense of relief. My living room finally feels like a calm space again.
That reminds me of something I saw recently. I read that organized spaces actually help people think more clearly.
I agree completely. It is so hard to focus when there is clutter everywhere. What do you think about this idea, James?
I think it's true. When my desk is messy, my work feels messy too. It affects everything.
Exactly. And speaking of work, how have things been going at the office lately?
It has been busy. We're preparing for a new project, so I've been tied up with meetings all morning.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Could you tell me more about this project? Is it a big one?
It's the biggest one this year. We are upgrading the SCADA systems in several substations.
That sounds like a very technical and important task. How does that make you feel, knowing it's such a big responsibility?
It makes me feel a little anxious, but also excited. It's a great opportunity to learn new technology.
That reminds me of the solar project I worked on. It was difficult, but I learned so much about energy efficiency.
That's a great point. What do you think of the future of solar energy in our area?
I think it's very bright. With the right investment, we could power many more homes naturally.
See everyone? We just kept a conversation going for minutes without any awkward pauses.
We used all 5 strategies. We asked about feelings, we used bridges, and we asked for opinions.
It's not about being smart or having a huge vocabulary. It's about showing genuine curiosity.
If you show that you are interested in the other person, they will always enjoy talking to you.
Now let's discuss a common mistake. Some students worry too much about their grammar while talking.
Yes, this is a huge barrier. When you think too much about grammar, you stop listening to the other person.
Exactly. Conversation is about connection, not about a grammar test. Nobody cares about a small mistake if you're being friendly.
My advice is to focus on the goal of the conversation. Are you learning? Are you enjoying the company?
And the phrases we taught today are so simple that they are hard to get wrong grammatically.
They are, could you tell me more about that? Is easy to remember and always correct.
This gives you confidence to use them right away in your daily life.
I want to give our learners a homework assignment. Try using at least 2 of these phrases today.
Maybe when you talk to a colleague at work or a family member during dinner.
Tell us in the comments what happened. Did the conversation feel longer? Did you learn something new?
We love reading your success stories. They really inspire us to keep making these videos.
What if someone does not want to talk? What if they are very quiet and give short answers?
That is a great question. If they're quiet, it might be because they are shy, not because they are angry.
In that case, be patient. Maybe share something about yourself first to help them feel more comfortable.
That is a very smart approach, Anna. Sharing yourself first creates a safe environment.
We're building skills for the real world here, not just for an English classroom.
Exactly, and confidence comes from small wins. Every time you use a new phrase, you get stronger.
I am very proud of our community. They are always so eager to learn and improve.
Shall we do one more quick practice run of the 5 phrases before we wrap up?
Yes, let's do it rapid fire. I say the situation, you say the best phrase.
I'm ready. This will be a fun challenge for our listeners at home, too.
Situation 1. A friend just mentioned they traveled to a new city.
Could you tell me more about that? Or, that reminds me of my own trip.
Situation 2. A colleague looks very happy because they finished a big task.
How did that make you feel? And I would also ask, what was the hardest part?
Now that we have covered the 5 main phrases, let's talk about why they work so well.
It's all about psychology, Anna. People love to feel heard and understood.
Exactly. When you ask someone, how did that make you feel, you are showing them that you value their emotions.
And that creates a bond. It turns a boring exchange of information into a real human connection.
I have a question for you, James. What should you do if the person still gives a very short answer?
That is a common worry. If that happens, don't panic. Use the bridge strategy we discussed.
Right. You can share a small story about yourself first to make them feel more comfortable.
Yes, vulnerability is contagious. If you share something personal, they are more likely to do the same.
That is a great tip for building trust in a new relationship or even at work.
Speaking of work, these phrases are perfect for networking events where you meet strangers.
I agree. Using "what has been the best part of your week" is much better than asking "what is your job?"
It makes you stand out. You become the person who is interesting to talk to.
And all you did was listen and ask the right questions.
That's the secret. The best conversationalists actually speak the least.
I love that. It takes the pressure off the English learner to have perfect grammar.
Exactly. If the other person is doing most of the talking, they think you're a great communicator.
Let's look at another scenario. Imagine you are at a party and want to join a group.
I would listen for a moment, then use the phrase, "What do you think about this?" to join in.
That is a very smooth way to enter a conversation without being rude.
It shows respect for the existing conversation while adding your own voice.
We are getting some great feedback in the chat right now. People are really liking these strategies.
That is wonderful. It shows that these problems are universal, no matter where you are from.
Whether you are in Cambodia, Brazil, or France, everyone wants to have better conversations.
And English is the bridge that connects us all.
It truly is. It is more than just a language. It is a tool for global friendship.
I think we should do one more practice round before we move to the final advice.
Okay, I will tell you a fact and you try to keep it going.
I am ready. Give me your best shot.
I started learning how to play the piano last weekend.
That is so cool. Could you tell me more about what inspired you to start now?
See, that was perfect. Now I have to tell you a whole story about my childhood dreams.
And the conversation continues naturally.
You are a master at this, James.
I have had a lot of practice, and our students will too.
Consistency is the key to everything in life.
Especially with language. 5 minutes of practice every day is better than 2 hours once a week.
I always tell my students that. It's like a muscle you have to exercise.
And today, we gave that muscle a very good workout.
We certainly did. I feel like we covered so much ground today.
We talked about questions, following up, bridging, feelings, and opinions.
That is a full toolkit for any English speaker.
I hope everyone at home is taking notes, or at least feeling more confident.
Even just listening to us helps their ears get used to natural English rhythms.
That's the beauty of this podcast format. You can learn while you're doing chores.
Or while you're taking a break from your busy schedule.
Exactly. It fits perfectly into a busy life.
We should probably start thinking about our final takeaways for today.
Good idea. What is the one thing you want everyone to remember?
That listening is an act of kindness.
I love that. It really is.
When you listen, you're giving someone your most valuable asset, your attention.
And in today's world, that's a very rare and special gift.
So, if you want to be a great English speaker, start by being a great listener.
The phrases we taught you today are just the keys to open the door.
But the heart of the conversation is your genuine interest in the human being in front of you.
That is very deep, Anna. I think our students will really appreciate that perspective.
I hope so. It has helped me so much in my own life.
Me too. It takes away the fear of making mistakes.
Because if the connection is real, the mistakes don't matter.
Exactly. A friend won't care if you forgot a preposition.
They will only remember how you made them feel.
Wow, we're getting very philosophical today, aren't we?
I guess we are, but that's what real talk is all about.
It's about the real stuff, not just the textbook stuff.
I think we are ready to start heading toward the exit.
It has been such a pleasure being back with everyone today.
The energy in this community is just amazing.
Thank you for all the likes and the shares. It really helps the channel grow.
And thank you for being patient with us while we were away.
We are back now, and we have so many more lessons planned for you.
Make sure to hit the notification bell so you don't miss our next video.
It's going to be a very practical one about giving your opinion.
I can't wait to record that one with you, James.
It's going to be great. But first, let's let our students go and get some rest.
Yes, take a break. You have earned it.
You have done a lot of hard work today.
Be proud of yourself.
We certainly are proud of you.
All right, here we go. Final goodbyes starting now.
Thank you for watching Real Talk English. You are the reason we do this.
We will see you in the next lesson. Keep practicing and stay positive.
Goodbye for now, everyone. It was an honor to spend time with you.
Take care and happy learning. Peace and love to all of you.
Don't forget, be interested, not perfect.
That's right. Catch you in the next one.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
See you soon.